So, Ju, have
Yes.
you ever wished that you can rewind time, go back in time, and what would you tell your younger self? That's our topic for today.
Oh.
You're listening to
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
Did it sound very enthusiastic, my friend here today. So actually today, I was just thinking about many things that I would have told myself maybe when I was like 20-year-old or something that I kind of wish someone told me lah.
Okay.
So those are the things that I've been thinking about the last few weeks. So like one of the things that I kind of wish I told myself is this is more of like, how to say, I wish I want to tell other people
Okay.
kind of thing, Like I want to tell myself people change. People change, I will change, people around me change. Don't always hold on to the first perception or the first 2 years of friendship that you know a person, thinking that they would remain the same.
Okay.
Because I'm struggling with that, for example, like people who know me back in maybe college days. Then when we meet, right, they treat you like you were still the same person.
Sure. Okay.
So for example, in college, I'm a loner. I don't like group assignments.
Okay.
I don't like talking to people. I basically do things alone, very aloof kind of thing.
Right.
And I don't seek out my college mate for meals or stuff like that, or entertainment or stuff like that. So when we do meet later on in life,
they also don't talk to you.
Yeah, because the kind of thing that Gina is she won't talk to us one lah, she won't join us one lah, she won't. But they don't realize that people change,
Right.
So I find that this doesn't only happen with, let's say, friends. It also happened with my family. So for example, I've moved out for maybe 12 years already now. So they kind of expect you to still be the same. Let's say she dislikes this, she likes this, at home she always do this. But they don't realize that over time, that 10 years, you have changed and you are no longer having the same habit.
Okay.
And for me, I dislike it that sometimes they think that I'm having still the same habit. Therefore, the way they treat me or the way they react to certain things is premeditated.
Oh, okay. But then it's also kind of like what's pre-saved about you or anybody else for that matter, right?
Correct.
It's like your default setting, and unless they have a new reason or new experience to undo that. But even then, sometimes, right, people don't undo it.
Like, yes and no
even though, I can understand you've never seen me or never seen you for the last 20 years, right? And you think that, if you like to eat brinjal means now you still like to eat brinjal, right? But after the 20 years, and let's say you meet up and say, now I cannot, I'm allergic to brinjal.
Correct.
Right? But in their pre-save thing, right, they cannot change, no?
Yeah.
So the next, let's say now you have an ongoing relationship with them, right? Every other week you're still meeting them, right? And they still cannot figure out that
you don't like brinjal even though you tell them.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I think food or liking or dislike is something that is still very, small matters.
Yeah lah. No, I mean, I'm just like,
so like
example,
big matters would be people change, right? So I would tell my younger self that, hey, I might have met a nasty boss.
Okay.
But then if I meet the same boss 10 years later, he might be a better boss because maybe when he first started, I also first started. So he first time becoming boss. So I was like, I will never work with this person again because he's like this.
Right.
And during younger times, our minds are a little bit more set. Because you kind of think you learn new things and therefore the new things is the latest thing, the most important thing is the thing. Yeah. And then throughout the years, I realized that people do change because I have met people that I thought very nasty. I cannot work ever with them again. But then 10 years later, you meet them, they are like totally different person. But I can also approach it in the sense that, maybe now he pretend to be nice only. Once you start working again, might be nasty.
Right.
But I want to give myself or give them the benefit of doubt as saying 5-10 years would change because I myself have changed.
True.
And I want other people to give me the chance. So maybe when I was young, I might be a bit like stubborn and say, this one is like this one. But then looking back 5 years later, with things changing, I say, actually there was also another side of things that might or might not work. And I want people to give me that chance lah. To say that, hey, Gina was like this, but then 5 years later, hey, Gina have learned and improved.
Yeah.
So I would actually tell my younger self that you must give people a chance to change. Because everyone will change, including ourselves.
True.
Right. So, for example, just now you said about likes and dislikes of brinjals or chilies, or whatever, but there are also things, for example, that you're very sad. You kind of think that, okay, this is the way to go. 5 years later, actually, this way is okay.
Yeah.
This way is okay. It all comes with experience lah.
That's true lah. And I think we should expect people to grow and to change, right?
Correct.
Sometimes you see the person like, 20 years until now,
Yeah, like the
same,
most
like
unbelievable.
stagnant, right?
Yeah.
Then actually you should worry. I mean, there's one thing lah, you regress or you become a worse person.
Correct. Correct.
Or you just stay completely the same, which is not that great either, but we all develop also lah.
Yeah, so I think that's very important, especially when it comes to family members. Because they know you since you are young.
Yeah.
So they keep thinking that you are the same 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and this actually affects the family communication and the dynamic lah. So I think we must always keep an open mind that our parents can change.
True. And your children can also change.
Correct. And don't say, he's always like that one.
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing that I really thought, this is one thing that I really learned, because I went on a trip recently, family trip.
Yeah.
And I realized my brother like to say stuff like, yeah lah, your that sister is like that one lah. This one your father like that one lah. And it doesn't help when you're in a family unit that one of them keep thinking that something will change. But you have changed lah. So yeah, my first advice would be people change. Expect them to change.
Okay.
Because you yourself change.
Good. Okay, talking about family, I have one also. Okay, the reason I didn't sound enthusiastic just now about the question was because I always look back and I'm thinking, no regrets, what was, and there's no point looking back and I wish I had known this. But as just now you were talking about family, I was like, yeah, there is one thing I would have told my younger self, which is spend time and talk to the people around you because they might not be in your life forever. So so for example, my dad passed away at 18, right? When I was 18, when he was 61, I was 18. And at that point, I think as a teenager, life just is, it's just, you don't think like you want to ask him about, his history lah, his hometown lah, his whole family lah, how he grew up lah. Unless you have some assignment that you need to do, which my brother actually did, right? But I didn't have that opportunity to do that. So sometimes now, like how many years later, I actually wish that I had asked him more questions. Like I wish that I knew more about him or his family or that kind of thing. But really at 18 years old, it's not something that I would have wanted to know, I guess. Yeah. And that's happened with other people in my life too. Sometimes there are people who are with you in a long time. Sometimes there are people that you're only going to have that chance to meet in that one weekend. You only get to spend that one weekend with them, And then after that, it's gone. Then you're like, I wish I had gleaned a bit more wisdom or had just talked to them or just... Yeah. But sometimes sitting in silence is also good lah. Like that time I was this driver to this person that I really respected. That I wish I wasted an opportunity. But actually no, just seeing how they are in their personal space actually is a huge opportunity also lah.
It's almost like you're saying being present at that time.
Yeah.
To also listen and everything else. But actually talking about this topic is not to look back at the past and regret stuff.
Okay.
It's so that I think some of these things, the younger generation at that age might not realize that it's something that they need. Okay. Or they might listen, these two fellow don't make sense. But hopefully somehow along the way they realize actually got a bit of sense lah.
Okay, before the opportunity is past lah.
Yeah. Because I don't know, for me, I felt that it's past already. I just really wish someone told me much earlier. Whether it hit home or not, at least I have that knowledge to know what to do with it. Okay. To ignore it, to take it or whatever lah.
Alright.
Yeah. So the second thing that I was thinking is I would tell myself, you're not a superwoman,
Really?
Like, you don't have to just because you're young, you have the energy and the time to do everything.
I thought she's
I would
Gina.
actually tell myself 20 years ago, if I was possible, you're not super, don't do too much.
Okay.
Because I realized the fatigue catch up with you later on, 10 years later. It's just not fatigue in terms of physical, it's also mental fatigue, emotional fatigue, because we don't realize that actually the more tasks we take on or the more thing we take on, it's not just our time. It's not just our energy. It's our mental space and our emotional space.
Alright.
And we overdrive this when we are early 20s. At the late 20s or the early 30s, you will feel the burn a little bit. So this is what I reflect back and I think, maybe I run so hard that now that I'm in my 30s, I start to feel that I'm not at my full capacity and I hit myself very hard for it. Because if I used to run at 300 km, in terms of, let's say, just giving a reference lah, okay?
Yeah.
In terms of work and the passion projects I do, things that I love, creation, everything. Now I'm running at 100 km, which is not bad compared to everyone else because the last time was like crazy running sprinter, right?
Yeah.
100 is like maybe normal, right? But I beat myself up because I know that I could achieve 300 last time. But I feel the fatigue of the whole 10 years in my 20s crawling up to me lah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if other people feel this, but if I ever have a chance, I will tell my 20-year-old self, hey, pace out. Pace it because why? You're going to be living a long time. You need the same energy. You want the same productive level. You want the same output, the same performance all the way until maybe 50 lah when you retire lah and not feel tired when you are 30 lah. That is my thought when I was reflecting back. So do you have any, like, what do you feel about this sentiment?
So I feel that our energy levels actually do drop. We seem to have a lot more capacity to do things when we are younger. And I mean, I was told before, as you hit the next decade, things are going to change. Like you said just now, people change, right? This one is your whole physique, your body is changing, your stamina is changing.
I used to think that I'm going to, like, because we also listen to people's advice, right? So, as we get older, our energy change and all that. And then I used to tell my younger self when I was young, let's do it before I cannot do it, you know?
Oh.
But now I'm thinking whether the let's do it before I cannot do it actually ruin the next 10 years for me.
I see,
if that
I
makes
see.
sense.
Okay, so you asked my sentiment, right? I would say in my 20s, I did a lot of things, right? And they were kind of focused but scattered at the same time.
So like you can do more things.
For example, in my 20s, I was doing a lot of, actually same as what I'm doing now. There's a lot of social work or ministry work, but also a lot of singing and performing. And I don't really know. Now looking back, I'm like, wow, how did I actually juggle
both
those two? So, like, they were quite heavy balls to juggle in the sense, like, I had office job, like 24-hour week. So okay, my math's very bad. But yeah, I did 4 days a week, 6 hours. Yeah, correct lah, 24-hour week. And after that, it would be, I'll do my rehearsals or whatever. And then the weekends, I go travel and sing, right? So now looking at it, it's quite hectic. I don't think energy-wise I would be able to do it now. But I don't think I also beat myself up for it because I am finding myself to be a bit more selective in what I do. So yeah, last time I was like, sing here, sing there, sing there. Now, if I sing less often, but I think I get more satisfaction out of each one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know whether that speed of work or speed of life actually took a toll on me. I don't think so lah. I think for me, it gave me the experience. It gives me the chance to explore, doing different things and learn different things, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, I can like start to focus and do less and to zero in on those things that I want to do.
So it kind of gives you like a taste of, this is what the world tastes like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then later on, you can decide, okay, I just want to focus on B, C, D or something like that.
Kind of. It's you know when you go for a buffet, right? Like a huge spread, right?
Like you take all one spoon and after that, you just take a huge bowl of whatever that you have
Correct.
chosen.
And then, the next time you go to the hotel, you already know what you like. Then you don't have to try everything on the buffet already.
Yeah.
And not feel bad about it at the same time.
Haven't been to a buffet for a long time. But yes, let's take a break and come back to talk about other stuff that we would like to tell our younger self.
Today's episode is in support of the YWCA KL's brand new initiative called the YWCA Community Oasis. If you would like to be involved in greening up a space right in the middle of downtown KL, reach out to us on social media, YWCA KL.
Just said, I would like to green the place too.
Yes.
Okay, back from our break, right? So I hope you have time to think a little bit. You know how Gina is, right? Cannot start with blank canvas. Gina must talk, then she suddenly have a lot of things to talk. So one of the things that I really want to also tell my younger self is probably that you will make mistakes. And also to actually learn from the mistake. I think it's very important that because I realized that at the age of 20, you are just stepping out into the world, literally, because just outside the house, then you got a new job, then you got new friends, your colleague, then you learn about office politics and how the world operates. The whole adulting thing, paying bills and all that is a lot. Okay, and then when you first learn, you always blame everything. Why the bill so complicated to pay? Why I must file my income tax? Why is all this paperwork? So, and when we make a mistake, normally at the age, we blame the system. These adults do this system so complicated, they should make it simple and stuff like that. So I would want to tell myself hey, you just step out of the world. Just if you make a mistake, admit it, learn and move on. A lot of us, even right now, not even the younger self, you make a mistake, there's two ways. You either admit it and then learn and move on, right? Or the other way is deny it, insist that it didn't happen and try to move on. And then you become a she-devil lah. So because there's a lot of things in life that I realize as age go by, you can really either be gracefully aging, or stubbornly aging lah. Okay, so I want to encourage myself to age gracefully in a way that I must be willing to admit the mistakes I made and to learn it lah. So it could be very simple, like I say something wrong that offends someone. So I should go and apologize, learn that, okay, I shouldn't word my words like this. It hurts someone. And in the future, don't do it again. Or I can actually say, hiya, you're so sensitive like that also you hurt. And actually, even though I know that I hurt you, but I just being like very
defensive about it actually.
Defensive and pretend I never made the mistake because maybe it's egoistic or something like that. And then I just shove it off and I move on. But all these simple things, right, can actually pile up to become something that makes you a devil lah, I call it lah, So you might thinking, hey, I just hurt one person in my ego, I don't have to admit it, right? That person can hate me, it's fine. But you don't realize along the way, if you keep doing that every few months, after 10 years, you have like 100 enemies who like, she really just stepped on my tail and then don't admit it's her mistake. So I think these are some of the things that I've been learning with the people around me that I'm working with or I'm dealing with. And I'm like, wow, so hard, man. If I can tell you I made a mistake, sorry, move on. Why can't you do it? Number one. Number two, why are we always harping on someone else's mistake forever and ever? I forgive you. Right? I forgive you, but I will keep talking about it. These are some things that I told myself, hey, don't do this. You will never grow. And I find that it's even harder to admit mistakes when we are young.
Oh, so you think it's something that we need to learn when we are younger so that as we grow up?
Yeah.
Would it be harder to learn as you grow older?
Yes, because when you learn you are younger, you cultivate that practice of I made a mistake, I admit it, I move on. Right? But if you keep denying it as you grow older, your ego, your reputation also grow. It's harder to suddenly admit I made a mistake.
Yes.
The contrast or the weight of it is much higher. Or weightier lah. So I just tell myself, hey, thank God I started when I was back then young. And every time I learn a mistake, I will just tell my boss, sorry, this one I do wrongly. Instead of denying, it's a computer mistake lah, I never see lah. And I realized that brought me a long way to where I am now.
I think that gives you a lot of ownership. People will look at you like, okay lah, got integrity, got ownership, and there is a self-confidence. I think it takes a lot of confidence to admit that you made a mistake.
Yeah, it does. And the older you get, the more confidence you need. Because people always look at you like, how come you're so senior, someone made mistake? But then admitting it itself give other people a reason to admire you.
Exactly. But depends lah. I suppose some people who don't appreciate that would like look down on some people. I think maybe that's why maybe some people are just so afraid of admitting. They're scared that. But no lah, I think no. I think most people wouldn't.
Yeah, it's just an egoistic decision whether you want to admit a mistake or not. Because admitting a mistake is being vulnerable and saying I'm wrong. But a lot of people don't have the courage to do that.
Yes.
So for me, it's very sad that, when I see people who just over and over again saying that no, it's not my fault. Next. And it piles up and you see it actually kind of destroying your life, or they are destroying other people's life. So that is something that I look at it and I say, okay, I don't want to become like that. Yeah.
Me neither.
So yeah, come.
Okay,
Any
I
advice?
got one.
Wow, she finally got one.
Life's journey, right, will take you on detours. This is something I will tell myself. Sometimes you think, okay, just now I talked about focus and you want to reach that destination, right? Sometimes when I take a wrong road, right?
Yep.
Literally when I'm driving, I can get quite upset. Like, ayah, stupid lah. Ayah, why you missed that turning? Or, ayah, now I have to pay toll to go and come back, you know?
Yeah, in Malaysia, correct.
But I tell myself sometimes, I also think, maybe that detour could have saved me from something happening if I didn't take that detour. Like, I've heard of stories of people, like my godma's son was in New York when 9/11 happened.
Okay.
And because of some certain delay, he was not in that subway at that point of time.
Okay.
When everything came crashing, right? And sometimes I think, you know what? Things happen in that split second. And you never know, somebody out there is looking out for you, right? And you just take that wrong turn. It's actually two. Number one, bring you on a different journey. And now I'm talking about a bit more metaphorical. Of course, when you're driving also, you can see different view lah.
Yeah, you drive, you see Apom balik.
Correct. Today he's not selling there, but yeah. You get more views, or in life, let's say, and you take a detour and you're like, am I not supposed to be doing this particular thing? How come my job now is taking me on this side road, right?
Yeah.
But in doing that, I learn new skills. I meet new people. I build a different kind of network that I probably would not have done or built if I had just gone on that one straight path, right? And then looking back, right, sometimes I can see, wow, if I gone that straight road, if I had just taken that road that I thought would be the road, right? A lot of things down the road could not have happened. Like I would not have met so-and-so, or I would not have opened all these new possibilities. And it would have taken a lot longer on this supposed to be direct road to actually achieve what I want to achieve in terms of quality and in terms of the breadth of it.
So you actually said that detours might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, sometimes they might actually be a good thing.
So don't get frustrated when you can't take the highway and need to take the kampung road.
Yes.
Wow, I like this.
Correct.
Okay, the next one I want to say, you might actually laugh at me.
Okay.
I would actually tell my younger self, hey, go out on more dates because it gets harder to do so when you grow older. Sometimes, right, I look at my cousin now who just graduated and started a job, and she said, I got no time to go dating, I don't time to meet guys and whatever. I just want to focus on my career and, be stabilized and whatever not. And all I want to tell her is, you need to go out and meet people now, because by the time you stabilize, they're all married and you are left to be single forever and ever and ever, And yes, that is something that I wish I knew back then, because I was exactly like her. Romance wasn't part of my focus priority. I say it happened. But then, romance is not something that will happen if you don't put in effort or on the lookout. On the lookout is very important, because when I was working, right, I was working in a magazine. I met so many people. Looking back, I would have seen some people who are interested in me, but I was so busy working that I totally didn't notice them, or I missed their hint. And then by the time I'm ready to look at hints, nobody there to hint to me already lah. So I think, if you are like early 20s, actually it's a good thing to balance all aspects of your life. Even though it feels like, wow, now is the best time to start my career or whatever not. It's also the prime time for every part of your life. Like spending time with your family, because at the age of 20-something, your parents are not too old yet. You can go traveling and stuff like that. By the time you stabilize, your parents can't even leave the house to travel with you. So all the dreams that you have with them might be a bit too late. Same goes with the dating part lor. Then you have other aspects. For example, you don't go on holidays. You sacrifice your hobbies. You sacrifice your friends. And then by the time you stabilize, you have time for friends. They have all moved on to other levels or other friendships.
So maximize on all levels. Don't just like get stuck in one. Well, depends
One path lah.
Depends lah. Some people will say also that, if I really want to get ahead, then you really need to sacrifice everything and do that one lah. But it's literally sacrifice lah.
Yeah, but that seems to be another podcast altogether lah. Because I've been through that road where I'm not so aware of spending time with family. I'm not aware of, let's look out who is interested in me and I should be interested in who and stuff like that. And I realized by the time I reached my 30, it's almost a bit late, a bit too late to do all these things I thought I would forever have time to do. And I was telling myself, if I have leverage on it when I was in my early 20s, because I have super energy, like superwoman just now, right? Then I should be able to do more than just one thing now, right?
True.
Then it should be able to focus on every aspect and not just too focus on one.
Okay.
Because it's easier to focus on one when you're in your 30s and 40s lah. Your energy depleted.
Yeah, you got a lot more opportunity to focus later lah.
Correct. So yeah, that's the one thing I would really tell myself lah.
That's good.
Any more coming to your brain?
No, can't think of any.
Then I will share one last one, which is a little bit more practical. Okay. This is one thing that I really regret. Kinda lah. Okay lah. When I was starting my first job at 21, buying an apartment was like 200,000, 250,000. Very cheap.
Yeah.
Right? But at my salary, 1,008, everything felt very expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, when I earn more, I will buy a property. When I earn more, I will buy a car, something like that. But when you earn more, the property and the car price goes up.
Yeah.
So I really would want to tell if I could rewind time, I say, hello, buy property now. Wait, what rate? Because why? If you buy now, you are buying at the current rate. And then if you wait the inflation, everything, it doesn't make sense to wait. This is something that I find at my age, 20-something, nobody told me. They always tell you, stupid, you just start a first job, buy apartment. You know, because of our parents' generation as well, they don't have the concept of property management.
Okay.
Because during their time, it's like you can buy one house, it's just one house forever and ever. And
or your parents' house.
Correct, your parents' house, or you buy a house because you get married, so they only buy the house when they get married and all that.
Betul.
But then back when I was 21, it was the beginning of a change in terms of how people should own property.
Right,
Not when you get married or that. But I didn't have the courage to buy. Which I wish I started early lah. First 2 jobs and then you should just get it. Because it's also the beginning of a commitment and everything. So it's easy to flow into it. So one of the things I would tell myself is either start investing or buy a property. Don't wait until you can afford it, because you can never afford to buy a property or you can never afford to invest. Every time you afford it, the price goes up.
And do it while you have a full-time job.
Yeah. True. While you have that superwoman power lah. So yeah, those are some of the things that we will tell our younger self.
So we tell you that now.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by 2 Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Cerita Suito and Gina Yap Layung.
Today's episode is recorded at Studio 2105.
Remember to click like and subscribe for the brand new episode next week.